deer camp.
Sure is.
It is Orange Army Day. Everyone traveled up here.
Day before.
Yep, the day before. Do you have a name for your new camp, Dad?
Not yet. Wait until something happens and we can name it.
Paul, you're also here, so welcome.
Yep. Thank you.
I was thinking about this out there. How many years have you been hunting? I think we talked about it before, but how many years is it now?
Oh, gee whiz.
When did you start? When you were 12? Probably before you were 12.
I must have been about 60 years anyhow.
60 years. So
Maybe.
you have roughly 60 opening day sits. Have you? Did you go out every single opening
No.
day every year?
No, I didn't. No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So like roughly how many opening day sits do you think you've had?
Let me see.
Why didn't you go out every day?
Like every opening day.
Every opening day.
I guess I was working, so
Working?
I couldn't go, yeah.
Yeah, because back then it was Mondays usually.
Yeah.
Monday was the opener.
Yes.
Now Saturday is the opener for what, the last 4 years? 5 years?
Yeah, probably at least 4. I'm not sure. It all runs together, but I think it's at least 4 years.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, because it happened with the combination of buck and doe now is when I think Saturday opener started, right?
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
No, because I don't know. Was there a year on the back there of the one?
Which one?
Because that's
Which
the
one
first year for Brown and Dan.
the double
That
up.
one. That's the first year for Brown
No,
and
there's
Dan.
not a double up one. A date on here. No, there's not.
And there wasn't. That was a Monday opener.
Yeah. So it wasn't the Saturday opener.
No, they didn't start Saturdays till.
Till
I think
later on.
Saturdays didn't start till the 3-point regulation.
Yeah.
I think. I'm not 100% sure, but that was the first. There was a couple of years it's just Brown and down.
Okay. Yeah. That was so roughly. So say 40
Yeah,
sits.
around there, I think so,
Out of
yeah.
60 years you went out on
Yeah.
opening day.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because I always liked the first day.
Yeah.
Because after that, I didn't like it.
What didn't you like about the other days? Like, was it?
I
It was
don't
just
know.
something
I
different.
always liked to go the first day.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I didn't like about it, but I always liked to get out the first day if I could go.
Yeah. And did you primarily hunt? Because I know you hunted down around Masonic Village.
Yes.
Down there, but then you also had the Juniata cabin / house.
Yes.
So, would you rather prefer to hunt around Masonic Village, or would you rather hunt it around Juniata? When you were
Juniata was pretty good. Yeah, I liked
Okay.
that Juniata. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had my own tree stand.
Yeah.
And,
and I want to get into that.
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to get into the tree stands because I know on the property, it was. I had looked it up. I was thinking it was like 40 acres he had. Was it 40 or 80? I forget now.
There was a total of over 100 and some acres next. I think Bob had 40.
I think altogether it was about 100 acres across the road
That we
Okay.
could hunt.
with everything that we could hunt on.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, when
Yeah.
we first got up there, you could hunt the whole side of the mountain. The doctor had the big mountain.
Well, yeah.
Behind the
Hunt-
cabin,
you
right?
could hunt the whole way up. You could go the whole way to the top of the mountain.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first year or
That
so,
was
but
shade.
another guy bought it. Didn't do it no more.
Yeah.
That was Shade Mountain, I think.
Yeah.
Shade Mountain was a big one behind camp.
Yeah.
You,
Okay.
could, you could go the whole way up. That's where I got a picture. You can see.
Yep. We go the whole way.
You
We
can
were,
actually see the point.
I went the whole way to the top of that already.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we did a couple times. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
that's a hike.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So bless you, Mom. so the so
And Mom's here too.
yeah.
You know.
Say hi.
Hi, everyone.
So okay. So now the tree stands. Now, when obviously you guys built the stands on that property.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now-
I built mine
Okay.
myself.
Okay.
His is like a freaking living
Yeah.
room.
That's
I,
I told people that. Yeah. So
Carpeted.
let's. How did you pick the locations for the? Because obviously now everyone's big into mobile hunting. Like I'm into
Yeah.
mobile hunting, obviously, like being mobile. But back then it was like the wooden box blinds, wooden stands on
Yeah.
private property, all that kind of stuff. Even on public, people still had wooden stands up. If you
yeah.
go in the big woods, like up in Clinton, where we had, I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah,
somewhere
you
there's
see a lot of old
yeah.
dilapidated stands.
And so, why did you pick those spots? Like, Paul, why did you pick that spot for your glorified
I thought it was a pretty good spot
Okay.
at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I cut brush down so I could see a little further.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy that owned the ground let me do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you didn't care.
Yeah.
And it was a perfect tree. It wasn't like, it was like 3 trees, right? It was 3 trees
Yep,
together.
I built it up on the
Yeah.
trees.
Yeah.
Took the stuff up with my tractor
Yep.
and
Yep. I
Build a
remember
stand.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
The tractor going over there.
It
That
was
was,
a big,
yeah.
it was a
Yeah.
big tree stand.
yep,
Yeah. Carpeted, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
right?
yep, I
carpet
did.
in.
Yep,
Yeah. Carpet,
Yeah.
a seat, a table.
yep,
Yeah.
I think you had, did you take a heater in there with you sometimes?
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Taj Mahal of tree
Yeah.
stands.
Uh-huh.
So I know then there was 2 middle stands. The one that was kind of like
Well, there was one in the middle. I think.
Yeah, we had
Just
one in the middle. Yeah,
That was a creaky one. No, I didn't like it because the way
That-
it
but
was
wasn't that-
noisy.
it wasn't that good,
I
but
seen deer from
you
it.
could see.
the one that was kind of like over the edge a little bit.
Yeah, and it,
Yeah.
it kind of leaned kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it was noisy as hell.
And then there was one
you
I'd
say
always
hell?
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And then there was there was one on the other side that I would always sit in. That like tripod
Well,
type
that
one.
was a box. That was like a box blind.
Yes.
When you sat in it, it was.
Yeah.
You had to open it. So there wasn't
Yeah.
much room in it.
No, it
that
was
wasn't ours. That was the neighbor on the other side,
Yep,
up along the trail.
yeah.
yeah. But that's where I primarily sat
Yeah.
most of the time. And then we had your stand dad that
At the end.
that you built that one,
Yeah,
right?
I built
So
that.
what made you pick like that
It
spot?
was a big tree.
Big
It
tree.
really was a
Yeah.
big tree.
Yeah.
It was probably the biggest tree out at that end, and it went up on 3 branches, and I could just put enough on it to stand on it. It had a railing on the
Yep,
one
yep.
side, but no roof, no nothing. Just it was a good tree.
Now
Shot
that
a
one
lot of
there,
deer
were
on
you able? Did you sit down, or were you
Yeah, I
like
could
walk
sit
around
down.
it, all that kind of stuff?
No, there wasn't a wall. It was
Okay,
yeah. No,
'Cause
you
I-
could walk.
yeah,
We did have a seat on it, didn't we?
I had a seat there, but I could stand up and turn around. I
Uh-huh.
couldn't wasn't
And-
like his.
and
You know.
you primarily these spots you picked were just so you could see a good distance for rifle hunting, all that kind of stuff, for thick cover.
Yeah, Mom, we couldn't really see. You could see decent. Down over the hill, you could see over 100 yards.
Mhm.
But other than that, it was kind of tight.
Okay,
Behind me was thick.
yeah,
Pines down below me. No, in front of me, but nothing ever. I never shot anything from in front of me.
okay,
It was always the left. I could see about maybe 75 yards till it crested the top of the hill.
yeah,
It wasn't a long shooting stand. It was just
Right.
a big tree, and it was a good spot.
and it was right on the end of a knob too, like the knob was kind of behind you.
Yeah, I went the whole
Was
way
it?
out to the field.
Yeah,
There was a tree line or a fence row behind me,
okay,
about 100 and some yards.
yeah,
It was like a pinch point, I guess, kind of, because they come around. If they come around between me and the fence,
mm-hmm.
it was a pinch point.
yeah,
You know, but
yeah. I
I
remember.
hardly ever shot anything behind me.
I vaguely remember it because
Once or twice.
I think it was kind of thick in front of you. There was
Behind me, it was
behind
thick.
you.
Yeah.
because that's the thing. Like I'm
It-
always trying to remember. Like I can remember Dampall's vividly, and I can remember the
Yeah.
one I sat in, but I never was in your stand.
Yeah, I don't know if you were ever. It
I sat
wasn't enough
below
for
it.
2 people.
I sat below it in that blind.
Yeah.
But
It
that's-
wasn't big enough. 2 people couldn't get in it and sit. That was
Yeah.
mainly why I got the 2-man stand for
Mm-hmm.
us, and because we just put it down over for where my stand was,
Mhm.
because it was good for 1, but you couldn't have 2 people in it.
Yeah,
There wasn't enough room.
yeah, yeah. And then we hunted that property, and then we hunted Charles's
Out
down
the road to
down the
farm.
road. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
which I actually got a hold of him again, and he actually allowed me to hunt that property again.
Oh, did he?
But I never went up there since. But yeah, he's he's
Seen
still let
some
me
out there
yeah.
already.
I mean, there
Never
was
shot any out there.
after you sold the cabin. Me and Dad went up, I think, the first year, and hunted at Charles's.
I think we
right?
did go up. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember one time we went
back
up.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we hunted across the road from the cabin, but we hunted.
We went out to Charles.
Yeah, we went up there, and we didn't. I don't think we saw anything that day. Or we might have. I'm not sure because it was late season muzzleloader, and I remember I got sick,
Okay.
but I don't remember if anything came by or not.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know it was snowing out, all that kind of stuff. So it was a day trip.
Yeah,
Up
just
there.
up and back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you remember? Like, obviously, out of all the first day sits, do you have a memorable moment, memorable hunt in the first day, opening day, like something that happened?
I mean, they're all remember if you get something, they're all memorable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I say, the one when I got to 2, that there. But there's always something you remember about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like the 6 point I shot up top, when as soon as I shot, he got out of sight. There was like 2 shots right down from me.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, shit, he's done. I didn't get him.
Yeah.
And I went up to talk to him to tell him I shot a deer, and he didn't give a shit. He's like, well, go get it. You didn't even come down and help me look or nothing. I said, thanks, Dad. But I go up, and he's like, what the hell? We're going to look for it. He didn't want to leave, so I went down over the hill and found blood, and I found it.
Yeah.
But I thought the guy right down from me shot it. Because I shot once, and then he shot like twice. That was someone still remember walking up.
And
I got one, Dad.
Which one was
That's
that?
the one you're poking your eye out with. That's
Oh,
that
this one
yeah.
right here. So everyone,
Yeah.
there's that. So this
That's
one
a
here,
6 point.
So this is the one you got up in Juniata.
That was right along I had my tree stand set up right along the post that I was facing up the hill towards him.
Yeah.
And the post that was right to I guess it would have been to my right. Then they come out to post it down behind me. That was probably about an 80, 90 yard shot. It was a pretty decent shot down over on the back side of the tree.
Yeah.
Which was nice because you could lean your gun against, But, so I was using wasn't a climber, it was a lock-on stand.
Okay.
I was down there, and then he come out with a bunch of doe came out, and he came after him.
Yeah.
Realized he didn't go far.
Did you kind of like did you see a lot of chasing in Juniata up on that property? Like, did you see a lot up there? Or not really?
Not a lot. The 3 point I got with the bow, he was chasing doe.
Okay.
And the 6 or the big, I don't forget if that's a 6 or a 7.
This one right here.
I think that's a 6, but he was with doe, but he really wasn't chasing him.
It looks like a 6.
Yeah,
It might it's 7 because there's 4 on
it
one
might
side.
be.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I never. Not like up in Clinton that time I seen him chasing
Yeah.
him. I never seen nothing like that.
And we know you never told that story on the actual podcast.
Yeah.
So do you want to, for the listeners who I don't talk to,
or whatever.
let's go through that because that was a very interesting day.
Well, you want to do, or you want to?
No, we
tell you
can
about that
stick.
quick?
Yeah, tell me about the Clinton one. Yeah.
Because I was there. I walked out went up the hill across from camp. There was a place I thought I wanted to go. I started heading that way, and the lay of the land wasn't the way I thought it was. So I turned around and come back to where I seen deer before. I was like, well, I'll just set up here. And that was just up from where the trailer was. I was just up on the corner a little bit. I could actually see the roof of the trailer down over the hill. But I found a decent spot. It's like, well, I'll set up here. What the heck, just because it was Thursday, I think, when we got up there.
Yeah, it was
just a quick evening.
It was the last.
It was Thursday, Friday, a rifle, and then bear came in.
Right. Yep.
So we got up there Thursday late or afternoon, but it was like a Thursday afternoon hunt. So I just got out quick, threw the stand up, using my climber, got up in the tree. Went to go up in one tree, didn't like it. Went part way up and I couldn't get the stand level. Got down, moved about maybe 30 yards, put the stand back up again. Then one got up, got everything sort of situated, didn't even sit down or nothing. I seen a doe with her tongue hanging out like hell running, and a 6 or an 8 or something right on her tail. And they were just freaking nose to ass. She was going down over the bank. And I seen them go. I'm thinking, oh, cool. At least I seen 2. That's a good Thursday.
Yeah. It's a good sit.
Yeah, good sit. And I no more than freaking sat down. I bet you it was 10, 15 minutes, if that. The same damn trail. A freaking nice 8 point, come right out, stood at the top of the hill, like where they went off down over the hill. He turned and come towards me. I'm thinking, all right, so I had the crossbow and everything, and he's coming up, quartering towards me, and I'm trying to get it, getting the crossbow out around the back of the tree, because I was shooting behind me. So I was trying to angle.
And that's hard in a climber.
Yeah, I was trying to angle that sideways and get him in the scope, and he's coming towards me. He's at 20 yards, 25 yards. And he's looking past my tree. And I didn't look. I should have looked, but I didn't look at what he was seeing.
Right.
And I seen it was the first time I ever heard one grunt like that. And he started freaking posturing up and grunted. And he knew more than did that. And I had him in the scope. And a bigger one come between me and him, which put him at about maybe 10, 12 yards.
The bigger one.
The bigger one. And I could see him out of my peripheral vision. When I'm looking at the one, I can see another one walking underneath me. And holy shit, that was probably one of the biggest deer I ever seen in the woods.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen big ones on there, but just a beautiful deer, like socks.
Yeah.
Like I call when they have socks. They have dark feet, coming up, big horns.
Yeah.
White horns, chocolate at the head, real nice heavy rack. And like a dumbass, I grunt at him. Yeah. Which, don't grunt. I'm really iffy about grunted deer now. It's like if they're walking slow, just let them walk and then eventually get the shot. Well, like they say, I grunted at him and he stopped at the only place he could have stopped with the vitals behind the freaking tree.
Yeah.
So he's looking, trying to see what grunted, and I can see his rack on either side of the tree, and he's turning his head and everything, and I can't get a shot. And like the old story goes, he turned and walked dead away from the freaking tree.
Yep.
He got out maybe 30 yards. I'm nervous as hell because I'm seeing all these deer. He's quartering away. I got one shot. I figure, okay, I'll take it. Safety's on. So I go to squeeze, the safety's on my crossbow. So by then I'm flustered, and he's down over the bank, and so that was 3 buck. No more. He got out of sight. I looked to my left, and all but the same size as him, if not bigger, snorted at me, and all I seen was him turning, and his rack was like a 55-gallon frickin' drum. He went up over the hill, and I'm thinking, you got to be kidding me. So that's 4 buck. Sitting there for about maybe 5 minutes trying to collect myself. The only one that came in and gave me a perfect broadside shot was a little frickin' like a 3-point, and stood there. And I'm thinking, you got to be kidding me. So I think the whole time I think I seen 5, at least 4. I'm thinking 5 different buck, in literally less than probably an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the most action I ever had.
Yeah.
Hunting.
And that's really the only time you ever saw like that hardcore chasing.
Oh, they were chasing, and it's big open hardwoods up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have no idea where because I just literally walked, like where that big one came from. I just walked through that area.
Yeah.
I have no idea where that big one came from.
I mean, even like we know that kind of is their time up there. Like what doe must be in heat because I got my 9-point or 8. That was this 8-point got up there
with the crossbow.
The last day before bear.
Yeah, is that when you shoot?
Yeah, that Friday.
Yeah, the year before that or something, I think, is when you shot.
And then the 7-point I got up on the very top. That was
rifle season.
That was the first day of rifle up on top.
Season. Yeah.
And that's when I saw the 3 other buck up on top there. And then that bear season, which I don't know if I ever told you this about when I was walking, like I went to the top and walked the edge of the laurel right there on top. I think you were up there before that. Laurel right there.
Yeah.
And I came up and there was that big buck and he was with 2 doe.
Okay.
Like up on top. And then like I came around and it was bear season and he was bedded down with them and then he just bounded up over the hill. Yeah. And I was like, holy crap. Like
there's a lot up there.
Yeah. It's just the amount of land to find them.
Yeah, and the people don't move them, and you know, but how they appear out of nowhere from. I mean, I could have seen 150, 200 yards through open hardwoods.
Yeah, and
I literally just walked there and just it's like I should have turned and looked.
Yeah.
Where he's coming from, but I have no idea where he came. All I know is he walked underneath my tree, and that was one I'll never forget that.
That's one of the most memorable. It's not an opening day, but it's like one. Yeah.
Yeah, I can picture that thing just standing there looking at it. He wasn't looking, but I could see the tree and his antlers on either side of it.
Yeah.
And he's 10 feet, 12 feet from my tree, and just a freaking bruiser of a deer.
Yeah.
I mean, he was
big. And up there, like he might die of old age because there's no
He was an old deer.
Was he like grayish or blackish kind of like?
He was just dark, dark deer.
Dark deer.
Yeah. Gray in the face, wide face.
Yeah.
Wide shoulders. Like I said, looked like he had freaking socks. Just heavy deer.
Yeah.
But the one that bristled up at him, this in here would have took him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was trying to be tough, but he wouldn't have took this other guy.
He was probably like, the one that bristled up was probably like that, like the 3.5, 4.5 year old range where he thought he was king, and then like really that guy who was coming down, he was like, no, I don't.
And he didn't pay him no attention.
Yeah.
He just walked right past him. He bristled up and he grunted, and he might have walked, like I say, 10 yards, and probably not even that in front of him. But I was paying attention to that one. I don't even know where the original 8-point even went.
Yeah, where he went to.
I mean, I'm looking at him, and the one that was there, he's gone.
Yeah.
I have no idea where he went.
Wow.
You know. But to have that many buck around you, that was crazy.
That is.
Yeah.
Okay, so after that, obviously you told me the story, and you were like, you were freaking out.
Yeah, I should have shot him.
I remember coming back, and you were like, I just had the freaking best. Like, there was a few more swear words in there, but you had like the best day in the woods.
Yeah, I should have shot him.
Yeah,
there's no reason. That was just bad.
But that's
it's still neat to see.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, in that moment, you're like, okay, this one's bigger than that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and get him because it's right there in front of you. I mean, that's.
And I was happy seeing the buck chasing the doe.
Yeah,
that was a good night sitting. PA,
you were happy with that. I mean? Like, oh, look at that!
Thinking, heck, I just sat up and seen a buck and chasing the doe. That's great. You know?
Yeah.
And I sat there Friday the whole next day and didn't see freaking but a squirrel.
Anything.
It's just when it's hot, it's hot. And when it ain't, it's not. You know.
That could be the title of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so let's get to. You want to do the spike, or you want to do?
The spike's pretty. That was just a windy day.
Quickie one right there.
That was just a windy night. It wasn't in my. I think that's even before we built the stands up there.
Mm-hmm. That was in Juniata too.
Yeah, that's Juniata.
Was this before I could even go up? Right. Like I was on.
No, you were probably along with this one.
Okay.
This one here probably not, but
right.
It's hard to say. I mean, I was taking you up because Mom was up. I mean, I was taking him along up early.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this in here was nothing. It was kind of around where Grandpa has his tree stand.
Okay.
Basically that same area. And I don't know if I was in a tree stand. I set my tree stand up there, my lock on.
Okay.
But I was facing pretty much right across from cabin, up on the hill.
Yeah.
And I was facing towards the cabin. But I remember it was windy as hell that day.
Yeah.
So I was up in the stand just blowing. I'm thinking, I ain't going to see nothing. I ain't going to see nothing,
Mm-hmm.
you know. I think I might have seen a couple doe before him off to my left.
Mm-hmm.
And then he come through, and I thought he was a doe. And then when he got closer and I seen the spikes, that's when I took like 3 shots. I think I missed him on the first 2.
During rifle, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then I finally, because I shot him and he dropped. And then no more. The thing that scared me is no more than I shot because you were coming up the trail. Because I knew more than shit. I'm shooting towards the trail, but there's thick stuff between me and the trail and everything. But I knew more than shot him and dropped him. And it wasn't much longer. He come around the corner, and he's right there. And I'm thinking, I was just shooting over towards that way.
Yeah.
But it wasn't nothing close. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was just a little Pennsylvania spike.
Yeah.
You know?
Dapple, do you remember that? Remember that hunt?
I don't quite remember it now.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just a little one.
Yeah. No one remembers the little ones, right?
Yeah, it still had horns. You know what the heck?
Yeah. No, every deer is a success.
That's the only spike. That's the only spike I ever got.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, everything else was always a 3 or 4.
3 or 4 better.
Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only spike I got.
Okay.
And I remember holding it because when I held it up, I have a picture of me holding a tape measure, like a 3-inch tape measure, and I held it up, and he was just barely there.
Yeah, because that was the law back then. It had to be 3 inches.
3 inch, at least one.
3 inches.
Had to be
one
one
of them had
3
to be
inches.
3 inches.
Okay. Now,
And I think the one was like 3 1/4, and the other one was like 2 3/4.
Now, as a hunter, how can you see that? How do you be like,
You
look at that and be
can.
like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's over 3 inches.
Basically, you can see it.
Like that's unrealistic to
if
make
you
that.
can see it, that's good enough, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so let's do this one here. So this is the 7-point and the doe because this is the most memorable one that I have. So let's talk about that one right there for all the listeners out there.
That one there, because I did have my tree stand up then.
The wooden one.
The wooden one.
Okay.
And we went out in the morning. One of the first years we started using radios and stuff, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I go out, we split off. He went to his stand, I went to mine. And then I told him about it. I said, radio me when you get situated in and everything. Didn't hear nothing. I'm sitting there and it's, daylight's coming up and I'm worried, if he was climbing in, something happened. I'm trying to get a hold of him. Nothing. Son of a bitch. I'm thinking, I hate getting down out of stand first day of rifle season. But I'm sitting there, he's not getting back to me. I'm thinking, you know what? I got to go over and make sure. So I get down out of the stand. And there was a trail along the top of the ridge.
Mm-hmm.
And just followed the trail out. And as soon as I see the tree stand, I see he's in there, and I see the old orange hat going, thinking, God damn it. I said, he's fine. So I walk over. Is everything okay? Yeah. Is your radio on? Yeah. All right. So anyhow, I walk back out. So I'm walking back to the stand. It was either a spike or a 4-point or something. When I'm walking back to where I cut into my stand, it was straight ahead of me out along the fence line. And I seen it out there. I got down on one knee, had the scope on, it was about to click the safety off, and it goes down over the bank. And I'm thinking, well, if I would have been in my stand, I probably would have seen him right behind me. And so, of course, I'm freaking irritated. So I go to my tree stand, climb up in. And as far as times, I don't know what time. I'm thinking it was 8:30. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not real good. I just know I shot him in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, when I seen him coming up through, I looked behind me in the thick stuff, and I could see 4 or 5, whatever, deer coming up over. But they were in the thick stuff, and I couldn't see the whole deer. And all I could see on him was shoulder blades and back, and I couldn't really see any vitals. And I had to get down a little bit to get the shot in. And I'm thinking, you know what? I just cracked it at what I could see, and I dropped him right there because I hit him in the shoulder blades. And dropped him. A couple deer ran. One come down below me, stopped, and was looking back up. Well, the one that stopped was a doe. Then I'm thinking, oh, shit, I don't even know what I shot. It's the first year brown and down. I didn't know So I just sort of half-ass get down on my knees in the tree stand and look to see if I could see its head laying there.
Mm-hmm.
And when I seen it laying there, I seen the rack on the one side, and I seen the decent tines.
Yeah.
And as soon as I seen that, I swung around, and she's still standing there yet, and put the crosshairs right on her ear. Dropped her right there. So I had to bucking the doe down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But she didn't, I don't think I had to finish her off.
Right.
She didn't, she went down the hill a little bit, but she was pretty much done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
They had
never.
the 2 of them.
I just remember I was back at the cabin with Namal.
Yeah, you didn't go out. That was before you even went out with me.
That was a couple of years, I think, before I went out.
Yeah,
with you.
a couple, not many, but
Yeah.
you go out in the morning a little bit. That was
Yeah.
before you came out. That was the first, and I don't think Grandma, because that was the first year brown and down. You seen it, you could shoot it, didn't matter what it was.
Yep.
Then I think she was a little leery, me taking you out. And
Yeah.
It was going to be some army and military,
Yeah.
There was always a lot of shooting up in Juniata.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. A lot more than we were
Up
up
till-
in Clinton County and all
Say
that
like
stuff.
11 o'clock, you'd have shooting every 15, 20 minutes at
What-
least.
One
Up till-
one thing I always wanted when we were up in Juniata, I always wanted to be that first shot you heard in the morning.
Yeah,
Like that was
yeah.
always a goal to
See,
to be that
I
first
don't
shot.
know if I ever was. That's anywhere. You always was be the first one to crack one off,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Like
don't
tomorrow
know.
it'd be nice to be the first crack.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you were I think up in Clinton, you were the first one when you shot up over the hill. At least the first one I heard, I think.
The one when I was on top, that 7-point I got?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was the first shot I heard. But up there, you didn't really hear a lot of shoots.
No, because
Shooting.
it wouldn't travel that far because all the mountains would just stop at the mountain. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's definitely the one that I remember the most.
Yeah,
out
they're
of
both
everything.
decent deer.
Yeah.
That was when we had a picture in the newspaper with you there. And
I also have that. In there too.
yeah. Grandma put it in the paper and everything.
Yeah.
It's decent. I mean, it was a nice PA deer.
It was a
good
yeah.
body.
I mean, was that the biggest one you got in Juniata?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, rack wise.
Yeah. It was definitely a good.
It was
good
a
buck,
decent
that's
rack.
for sure.
I mean, we've seen bigger ones for sure, but I would have, the thing that disappoints me, I would have liked to see him on the hoof.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing, it's like with the brown and down, it's like you just see it, shoot it, and
Yeah.
I mean, I
would
know
like
it
to
ain't the
see
right
the
thing to
rack
do. I would
just-
just like to see him coming and see the rack on
Well,
him.
that's kind of why they changed the law too.
Yeah,
like
but
they
I
had.
didn't.
How many years did they have of the brown and down?
It's only like 2, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
Wasn't many.
No.
Yeah,
Because
then
they wanted
went
to clean the herd out
3-point.
more.
Yeah.
And then they
Yeah.
wanted to do that's after that is when they started the antler restrictions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
they wanted to narrow the herd down, and then
Yeah,
they want to
do
build it
theirs.
back up to a healthier herd,
Yeah.
which is what they're doing now. Like the herd's healthy. Like we can see that with.
It seems that most of the ones you're seeing are good.
I mean, definitely numbers won't be like they were when back in the day when you saw 80 just running around. But then
Yeah.
also the deer back then were a lot smaller.
No.
But now you see a lot more rack bucks. You see,
They were decent. I
Yeah.
think the most I seen up there was 40. I think 40 or 45 on the other side of the power line when I shot my 4-point.
Okay.
Ken was sitting below me, and I was sitting up from the power line more. And he was like one of the last ones I seen. I saw a lot of doe, but some might have been the same.
Mm-hmm.
up and down the mountain just constantly. I think it was right around 40 or 45 deer.
Yeah.
I could say years ago, I saw 50 deer at one time.
50 deer.
And not a horn on any one that I could see.
Wow.
That was just missing.
50 deer, not a single antler.
Yeah.
They were all in a bunch coming
Wow.
down over the hill. They were making a racket.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, now you're lucky if you see,
I know.
Couple
see
day.
a group of 2 or 3
Yep.
and you're doing good.
Yeah.
50 deer at one time. That's the most I ever seen.
Yeah. That would be awesome to see.
Yeah.
50 deer at one time.
Yeah.
That'd be really great. Hey, Tuck. How's it going? You want to say hi? All right. So now
Yeah.
this one is a controversial one.
Yeah,
That I think-
he shot it.
Don't be coy now with that.
The late 8-point.
So here's the 8-point.
Yeah, the one that's
That,
out up here.
yeah, we'll show that
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
So let's walk through that hunt because I know you and I were. Let's go from the very
Well, he was in the morning. I shot a doe in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I hit in the liver that went down over the hill. And anyhow, I had a doe in the morning. Took her back to camp, and then we come out. I had him sit in my stand.
I was in your tree stand.
You were in my tree
You
stand,
and
and then
Cody
you
were
came.
together.
You came out with me,
Mm-hmm.
and we sat down over in the pines, just down maybe 75 yards or something below the
Yep.
wood stand.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting there. We were sitting there. I think I was sitting too. I might have been kneeling her. But anyhow, and then he shot. I don't know where it come from.
Come up over the hill.
Come up over the hill towards you.
I seen it down across the bottom down there, come right straight up over.
I don't know how far it was when you shot it, or shot at it, or shot.
Maybe 30, 40 yards.
So it was to the top of the hill already.
Yeah, yeah.
So it couldn't have been far from the tree stand when.
No, wasn't.
Yeah. Because you shot like 2 or 3 times, I
Mm-hmm.
think. But then it come down through the pines
Yep.
to us.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I seen it. It was walking dead on at a tree, and I could see the deer, but I couldn't see horns. And it was funny because it got down close to us. Well, not close, but maybe 30 yards, whatever, to the right of me. And you're sitting to the right of me. And I seen the deer, and I said, I don't think we could. I'm trying to think if we could shoot. Well, yeah, we had to shoot because I already had my doe. That was it, because I had my doe already. So I didn't have another doe tag. So I didn't know what it was, and then it come down and just peeked its head out around a tree. I seen horns. And I figured you were shooting at it, so it had to be legal. So I was like, well, I really couldn't count them because it's a real tight little basket rack. I mean, it's a neat little freaking 8-point. But I figured he's shooting at it, I'll shoot at it too. So I told you to duck. And then when you ducked is when I swung around. I think I got one off at it when it was turning. And it kept trotting, and then it made a mistake before it went down over the hill, and it stopped. And then all I could get was the back part of his vitals, and I squeezed one off at it, and he said he seen it drop or whatever.
Yeah.
So then we ended up getting that, and he claims he hit it. I guess he
2
did.
shots in it. It was 2 shots.
So that's is that the
I
exit or
guess the
entrance?
exit. I shot it from the other side.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because it would have been facing. Yeah, the
He
other
was
side would've-
going
yeah.
down over, so I hit him. I mean, he was kind of half quartering, kind of away down over the bank, and I guess the exit because the entrance is back, further
Yeah,
back. You know.
yeah,
Yeah, but he stopped right there, and I couldn't see his head or any of his front shoulder hardly, and I just kept it as tight to the tree as I could
yeah.
and squeezed, and I couldn't tell. I mean, he sort of kicked, but then Dad said he seen him go down.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
So
we ended up getting that. And he
Dapple,
tug it.
is that the last buck that Dapple got?
No.
No. What's the next buck? Oh. What's the next buck you got?
I think that you found a 5-point next after
Yep.
this.
Yep.
There was a 5-point that he found
Yep.
that a young kid
Oh,
and his
that's
dad
right.
were out hunting.
Yep. I think you told that story on might have been on the previous podcast up in Clinton County.
Yeah.
When we did it up there, maybe. I'm not
Around
sure.
the fire up
Yeah.
there, but he's seen
Yeah.
you or heard him shoot,
Yeah.
but then they looked for a little bit for it, but they really
Gave up.
didn't.
But the 2 doe passed me.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be a buck too, but I didn't see the buck. So they were looking for it.
Yeah.
So
Well.
I go back up and go out this path. There was a path going down here. Here I see the deer laying down there. I tried to get a hold of those guys, but they were all gone. So I figured, hey, I might as well take it.
Yeah, I mean, if they weren't going to find it, I mean...
He was like, hey, over here.
No, I didn't holler.
Hey, is this your deer right here?
So,
Whispering down the what they play in
elementary
school, whisper down the lane or something like that.
Yeah, that was a 5, and then that was the same year I got the 4 up top. Because I had one and you had one. Because we all have a picture of that about holding my little 4-point. It was a nice little 4-point, but it was a 4-point.
Yeah.
Had brow tines and beams. That was it. But I shot him right at the end of the day, right last light.
Yeah. And then so then we'll do my first deer.
Yeah.
So what I remember from this first deer is that we were sitting in the 2-man stand.
No, your first one was in the ground blind.
Oh, it was in the ground blind? Okay, well then I clearly don't remember it at all.
That's where you shot your first squirrel.
Okay, well then you walk us through this hunt.
I still have hanging at home yet.
You walk us through this hunt because
it was right down from my wooden stand. I mean, literally, wooden stand was right behind me. And we went up. It was earlier, like small game season, and made a wooden ground blind.
Okay.
Just something just logs and everything, and just made that. And that's where you shot your first squirrels out of that ground blind.
Wow.
And that's where we shot the deer at, too, was out of the ground blind. Because Steve Waltz, a good buddy of ours, was in the creaky middle stand. And he seen them coming through, but they were heading over towards you. So he didn't even take a shot at them. He just left them come through.
Yeah.
Then there was 2 of them, but we only seen the one, the one come out. You shot the one, and Steve's waiting for another shot because there was 2, but I never seen the one when you shot that one.
Yeah.
Because he was waiting for another shot from me or something because there was 2 of them. Well, I only seen the one.
Maybe the other one's dropped back behind. Like
hard telling. But they come out of the pines below us there, and then I think he got on it pretty quick. I had to give you a little bit of guidance or whatever to settle in and shoot, because that was Pappy's gun, his 30-30.
Yeah, which I now have that gun.
Yeah, but that didn't go far either, I don't think.
Yeah, no, I think. So it
didn't drop, but it went down over the hill.
The only one I dropped was the one in Gretna, where I spined her.
That there was real close. You hit it in the back of the neck.
A quarter-size hole.
We couldn't even tell where you hit it. It's like I think you just scared it from the shot.
Yeah. Heart attack.
Yeah.
All right, so then this one here, was this after my first doe? This one here? And
yeah, I'm pretty sure. That was either right before your deer or right after your deer.
So this one on the back here says...
I'm pretty sure that was after your doe.
How do you read the date on this thing?
I'm almost sure it was, because I had the 2-man stand with the blind set up. And
there's no date on the front here. Yeah. There's stuff on the back here, but that's it.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure this was after that one.
Okay. Maybe
like the next year.
Oh, the next year. Okay.
Or something close, because we didn't. It almost had to have been, because if I would have had the 2-man stand, I would have had it set up for yours.
Right.
But after we set the ground blind up, I think I bought the 2-man stand to use later.
Okay.
So we set this one up, and it was close to I always kept my stands close to the wooden one, because it was just a good spot out there.
Right.
But this was just right down over the hill from the wooden one. Right close to it, and you come out in the morning with me. But you weren't one for sitting all day and everything. So I think Grandpa came over and got you, or I walked you over to Grandpa and you went back in for lunch or whatever. And then that's when I shot the 8-point in behind me. And I kept saying, if you would have been out, you could have shot your first buck. You're, oh man. Hey, what the heck? Yeah, but that was the one when I shot that.
And just to torture you a little bit more, you made me take a picture with it too.
Yeah, well, of course.
This could have been yours.
With your nice big smile on your face.
Yeah. No, it's not a big smile at all.
That was a nice 8-point. Well, that is the one up there.
Is that the one up there?
Yeah, it's probably one of the most symmetrical deer I got. As far as it's the one at the end, or
yeah, I guess it would be.
Just as far as the tines. I mean, it wasn't a big rack, but he was symmetrical. Because I knew he come in behind me. Shot him. I got one shot off at him, and it was thick to my one side where he ran. And he bolted off, and I couldn't really get another shot at him. He was in the thick stuff. And about a couple seconds later, just heard, whew, And I'm thinking, all right, what was that? That was his last. He just
Last
gave his
breath.
last breath.
Yeah.
And I stayed in the stand because I radioed back to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you were getting ready to come back out from lunch. And, you were going to push up through the pines and come over towards me. Well, he actually kicked a couple doe past me, which I should have shot one of them too, but I didn't know if I had him down or what.
Right.
But then I told Dad, I said, I think he'd, walk over, make a big loop and come over on the other side of the thick stuff. And he's the one that found him. He goes, yeah, he's laying over here. So when I shot him, he only ran a little bit. And then and that breathing I heard was just him just taking his last breath, I guess.
Yeah.
So that was an 8-point, yeah.
Wow.
I think it's the only, that might be the only 8-point I shot. 6s, 7s.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing bigger than 8.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, those are the ones I wanted to talk about, but I also want. So, Dampall, when Dad would shoot a buck or shoot a deer in general, would you be just as excited as if you would have shot the deer? Like, because I know, obviously times change, so like now it's like to the point of like I'm happy to see other people get deer just as much as like I am to get a deer. Like if Dad gets one or you to get one, I'm probably more happy than if I get a deer. So, like, was that kind of how you felt, too?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Except for the one time we were like, well, go find it.
Yeah, he said, it was a stormer. Well, he didn't come help me or nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap. All right. Yeah.
So,
But it was the first, it was the first day.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to leave my stand if I was him either. It's the first day of rifle. Go find your damn self. I ain't freaking leaving my stand.
Let me know when you find it.
Yeah. But I drug it up past him, man, or once I found him, and he helped me get it back and everything. But, yeah, at first, he probably thought because I didn't know if I hit it or not.
Right, yeah.
So he's like, well, go see if you hit it,
Well, that's kind of like down in North Carolina when I shot that one, and I was like...
Yeah, the first one,
I mean, I put it right on him. Like, it was right there, but
that
like...
was a pretty good spot of blood, though, right there that we see. That you didn't see.
I don't know how I missed that, honestly.
Yeah, just adrenaline and everything,
Well, I was looking more up, like further up than that.
Okay.
So like I was like up a little bit more, like. But I mean,
yeah,
that was a whirlwind of emotion there to think that I missed completely. Like I'm glad another one didn't come out, and like I shoot that one.
Well, with the
yeah,
you could.
I would be like, well, I guess I'm done.
Could have tugged them all.
Yeah. So what's your biggest advice to hunters in the was that a fart from Tucker? Okay.
Hey, you're making a mess there, dog.
Dampall, what's your biggest advice to listeners?
Make sure you shoot. You know what you're shooting.
Okay. You know what you're shooting. Dad, what's your biggest advice?
Just be patient.
Yeah? Be patient. Be patient. I like
patient.
it. Be patient. Know what you're shooting. I like that.
It can change in a second.
Yeah, you know that.
It don't take much.
And for everyone who's listening,
all day.
When he saw those buck chasing the doe, it was during archery season, like you said, crossbow. So it's not during rifle or anything like that. Even though we've seen them chasing up there during rifle too. When I shot my 9, the one that you just sent me the pictures of.
Yeah, the one in Ethan's.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That one was kind of chasing when I shot that one, but yeah.
I've seen them really. Say the first one I shot in Perry County, there was doe came through. Like doe come through, I'm climbing into another wooden tree stand. It wasn't mine. It was somebody else's up above Ray's. But usually in the afternoon, I walked up to that. I did it for a couple of years. But in the afternoon, I'd walk up to that tree stand because I know the guy was never there in the afternoons. So I went up, and then I was climbing up in the tree stand, and shouldered my gun, had my gun, laid it on the floor of the tree stand. I'm climbing up, and I look, and here come like 3 or 4 doe, and they actually come around and circled the tree stand I was in, and I'm sort of hanging on the ladder, and these deer coming running around me, and then they took off, and I'm thinking, all right. So I get up in the stand, and no more than I got situated, and the 7-point come following the same trail that the doe were. But he wasn't right on them, like the ones in Clinton.
Yeah.
But he was smelling them and coming, but he wasn't like chasing them really.
Right. Yeah.
At least not right on, like that one in Clinton. I mean, he was right up on her. And they weren't wasting any time. They were moving.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Any final words before we end the podcast?
good luck this year.
Thank you. You too.
Yep. I want to kill.
Dapple, good luck.
Yep.
Good luck. We'll have 3 down tomorrow, right? That's the plan?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
All right. Well, everyone remember to keep hunting. What?
Yeah, we got our meat pull up this afternoon. Yeah.
Remember, everyone, to keep hunting, keep fishing, keep your tradition, and always enjoy the freaking process. Jeez, I keep messing it up. Enjoy the process.
The process.
Process.
Yep.